Donald Trump is in the UK, and yesterday we had a message that there would be 250,000 protesters protesting against Trump, but only 7,000 bothered to show up, and the official reason is because it was raining. Oh, it's good to know. You're so privileged that you only need to worry about totalitarianism when it's clement weather. How stunning and brave to brave the sun's rays. Well, so you can't be that unhappy with his performance then. 4.5% growth, exposing things, you know, that Obama's corruption, exposing the British state as being spying on his campaign in 2016. You can't actually be that unhappy with his performance around the world or anything because you're not actually willing to protest him if the weather's bad. But also, we get all the leftist memes saying that the Queen was unhappy to be standing next to Trump, and Americans apologising and saying, oh, I apologise, England, for Trump. Well, you should apologise for yourself, because Britain actually seems to like Trump. That's why only 7,000 protesters came out when they were promising 250,000. 7,000 out of 250,000. Also, the mainstream media was a bit stum in reporting that the balloon, which was once called a blimp, the Trump balloon, remember the blimp? Oh yeah, it's a blimp, is it? No, it's a balloon. Was punctured by a Tommy supporter and withered away to nothing. So their protest, their precious revolution, fizzled away, died, disintegrated, shrunk. And they screamed and they flailed wildly and they threw their arms around in the air, gyrating madly and streaking. You know, what they do normally. What they do normally when they have a discussion about Trump. It's like, let's talk about Donald Trump. What do you think about Donald Trump? Oh, racist, sexist, oh, his attitude to women. Throw arms in the air, shout, scream, shriek. It's known as Trump derangement syndrome. It actually possesses people and takes them over so they can't have a reasonable conversation about anything and you can't defend any mainline opinion. Because it's racist, because these people are flailing wildly and that apparently dictates what is true. Yeah, the more you emphasise something with the more emotion and start crying over it, the more true it is. Yeah, that's how it works. The protest against Trump actually emphasises the left's penchant for emotions over facts. They don't care about facts, they just care about emotions. And if you can virtue signal and feel good about it, then all the better. And the mayor quite happily goes along with them. And of course Jeremy Corbyn, because he was rejected by Trump, wasn't he? But then Boris rejected Trump, didn't he? But regardless of that, the mayor has said disgusting comments about Trump, which has threatened our relationships with America. Our relationship with America is sacrosanct and has been there since the war. We have a much closer relationship with America than we do the EU. We don't have anything in common with the EU. We have everything in common with the US. And I'm talking about going back to the Second World War. Quite appropriate for this day, don't you think? Because selfish leftists have forgotten that you don't have the culture and the freedom you've got without fighting for it. And if you just allow it to be taken away, if you allow yourself to be invaded, you won't have the culture. In fact, you don't have the culture that you thought you had already. Boomers, for example, gave away free speech, while millennials were the ones that ravenously wanted to give it away. And actually, as they fought to give it away and said it was tolerant and liberal, boomers didn't defend it. All the comedians, etc., all the middle-aged people, they didn't come out and defend it at a critical juncture, and now it's gone. Now you can be arrested for misgendering. It's gone. And so you failed. Your forefathers, the generations that said, preserve freedom of speech because it's sacrosanct for the West and it's the fundamental touchstone of civilization in the West. You failed to keep it. You failed them. Just like we failed the generations after us and the generations before us when we let Notre Dame burn down. We failed. We failed to preserve history. We failed to preserve architecture, and we failed to preserve civilization, culture, society, and everything. Our collective failure is legendary. You know, all the celebrities like Jeff Daniels saying that Donald Trump has disgraced the office of the White House or whatever, and Jim Carrey, all the useless Hollywood celebrities that don't care about free speech as it's been taken away. They don't give a crap about free speech. They just care about, ooh, orange man bad, ooh, said racist things, ooh, media virtue signalling. Why should we respect them after that? We shouldn't. We should just throw away their careers because they don't have a career anymore. They just tweet and they just destroy their career. Jim Carrey, in fact, gave his ex-girlfriend STDs and then she killed herself. So he's kind of responsible for a murder, don't you think? Why are they always connected to these dark, disgusting, despicable things? These dark, despicable lifestyles which they all seem to lead. Like Alison Mack, like Robert De Niro, like Tom Hanks, like Steven Spielberg, like Seth Green. Remember, Isaac Cappy didn't die for nothing. And I just watched a video with Richard Herring and Matt Lucas. Matt Lucas apologising for all his characters. Yeah, it was racist doing Ting Tong, wasn't it? Yeah, it was racist for all those characters and Come Fly With Me because I had to black up. Sorry for making people laugh. I apologise for that. You're only allowed to laugh if it's officially prescribed woke humour. And you get all the usual liberal professor metropolitan elite types after them leaving comments saying, we now know this is unacceptable, but thank you for apologising. Yeah, because we're so enlightened now, aren't we? We know better now, don't we? We're a better society now that functions far more than we did before when we used slurs. Oh no, we're not, are we? So what right do we have to call ourselves enlightened on any metric? What metric are we enlightened on? Oh, it's 2019, we know better now. What do we know better about? Tell me. We don't know better. We censor and we call it liberal. We shut people down and we call it tolerance. We know far worse. We are regressive and we call it progressive. We are regressing into the abyss. I would argue we know far, far less now than what we did know. And when we had humour that could actually genuinely make you laugh, now they have to apologise for it because laughter is offensive. We know nothing. We are a regressive society that is on a course for oblivion.